Good morning, everybody. This is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and happy 2024. If you've watched my channel before, then you know that I love to crochet. But not only do I crochet, I'm a homesteader, a YouTuber, a teacher, and I work part-time at the farm store. You could say I'm a little bit busy, but I like it like that. But saying that, I am constantly asked two questions. The first one is how to read patterns. The second one is how do you store all of your yarn? So today we're focusing on storing your yarn. We moved to West Virginia 1 year ago, and up until that point I had these shelves in my basement at the old house. These are IKEA shelves, and I quickly discovered that Walmart sold these latch boxes that fit perfectly into these shelves. So I had 4 shelves with 4 openings, giving me 16 containers of yarn. Worked out fairly well. And at that point, I divided those 16 bins into separate colors. But 4 things happened that threw my system upside down. The first was that I lost my mom. Now, my mom was an avid crocheter, and she taught me how to crochet when I was about 6 or 7 years old. But when she passed away, guess who inherited most of her yarn collection? You got it. Second, a sweet lady from my church decided to retire. She owned a yarn shop, and so she gave me, for free, a ton of yarn. Third, a local outlet store started selling yarn. Now look at this price. They were 2 for $1, and every week they had bins and bins of them. These came from Target. There was no way I wasn't going to get all of them that I saw. And they weren't all the same color. They had every color you could imagine. And in the middle of all this, we moved to another state, and suddenly I had people that were helping me to pack up, and all my yarn got thrown into moving boxes. So my system very quickly ended. And just in case you don't know this, yarn is a fantastic thing to pack in moving boxes around your breakables. Yes, we put them all around our dishes, and what that meant is I would have 1 or 2 skeins of yarn in every single moving box, and well, I only had about 300 moving boxes to go through. And that leads us to today's video. I have 52 containers full of yarn. And fortunately, a lot of this fits into 2 of the closets that I have in my house in the spare bedroom. So I have a place to put them. They fit, they stack nice, but they also need to be resorted because a lot of things have gotten mixed into them. So today, I am going to reorganize all my yarn and give you some suggestions to do the same with yours. The first is containers. When I was purchasing these latch boxes, they were less than half the price of what they are now. I'm not so sure I would do it in today's economy, but they are wonderful because they latch shut. That is going to keep things from getting into your yarn. The other thing I do is I store all of my yarn in my house. Never ever put your yarn out in a garage, up in the attic. Put it someplace where you actually are coming in and out to prevent critters from moving in that can destroy all of your yarn really quickly. I start by sorting my yarn into 3 different ways. First, I divide it into the types of yarn it is. I only use 2 types. One is 100% cotton and the other is acrylic. I don't have a ton of cotton, so I put all of my cotton in one bin. That leaves me hundreds and hundreds of skeins of acrylic. Now I divide it into the size. The vast majority is medium, and then the rest of it is baby. And so I then divide them into 2 piles, into the size medium, which is tons and tons of skeins, and into the baby ones, which are much smaller. And that shows you the thickness. The one on the left is just a normal medium weight, and the one on the right is a light one, and that is the baby one. I do not crochet with a super jumbo size threads or yarns. Now I start dividing by colors. And so this box is solid yellows. I have 2 sizes of these latch box. This is the smaller one. I can tell I need a much larger container. So I am simply going to go through and start dividing them by colors. I do not put multicolored ones in there. That's a whole nother ball game, and we'll talk about that. I always leave the labels on because sometimes I am crocheting a project and I can't tell if this one is a different shade than this one. They look really close. Always keep the labels on. Oh my goodness, this is what I was just talking about. In my yarn was a glass that somebody packed in there so it wouldn't get broken when we moved. As far as multicolored skeins, I do not put them into a container of a solid color. I could put this in green, I could put this in bluish purple, but I keep them separated, and I think that makes it easier when I'm trying to make a project. I pick the solid colors I want, and then I can go and see what multicolored ones I have to go with it. Or I pick the multicolored and then match the solid. The only difference is if I have a pack like this where the entire thing is just different shades of pink, I'm going to store it in my pink bin. If I find several skeins that are the same color, I often put it into a plastic bag so they don't get separated. Especially if I'm making a big project such as a blanket, I'm not going to want to be searching for more of the same skein. So I try to keep them together. Once a bin begins to fill up, that's when I will start sorting it by shades. And so this one, they're mostly light colored ones. I'm going to start a pink one that is very bright pink one, such as this. Doesn't get much brighter. The color that I never have enough of is white and country white and even light tan. So by putting them in the see-through containers, I can tell when I'm getting low on some of those basic colors. All right, it took me a couple hours, but I have all of this yarn sorted. Each bin is sorted by color. All of this is just my regular acrylic medium weight yarn. So there are several bins, like this one had a country blue and a light blue, another light blue, and a dark blue. So some of them had to go into several bins, depending how much of each one I had. Greens, yellows, golds, then we move on to pinks, purples, dark purple, burgundies, reds, goes on down to orange, and then white, gray, and dark gray. Before I put these all away, I need to put the lids on, and then these actually will fit into my closet without any problem. But I am going to choose the yarn skeins that I want to do to make a temperature blanket, which I need to start today. This makes up 25 of the 50 bins that I have, and this is the bulk of it. The rest of it is divided between the multicolored ones, the baby yarns, and I actually have 3 bins of projects that are started. These are the rest of the bins that need to go in. 3 that are projects that are started. Then these are all baby yarns, and it moves into the multicolored, which, whew, that was really hard to divide. Like this one is basically red, white, and blue. These are more nature colors, blue tinted, old-fashioned mauve and green. But I try to divide them the best I could. This one is completely just baby colors. All right, just say it. There was no way you thought I was going to fit all of those containers into my closet. Well, here you go. And you know what? I don't even have my multicolored ones in here, or my baby ones, or the projects I've been working on. Whoo, this little closet holds a lot, and it's easy to get to. I am now going to fill the top with the rest of my containers. Remember all those boxes of yarn? You got it. All I have left are a few empty containers. The rest of it fit all in one closet, all organized, all divided, all ready for my next project. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye.